Right. Hi, I'm good, Marks, product owner of Tina.io, and today we are doing the sprint review and retro for sprint 15 as well as the sprint 16 forecast. Um, we don't have all of our stakeholders in here today. Adam and Scott is actually in the Irish pub at the moment, having some cold beverages, and Levi was not available, but we do have Mr. Weeks. So we are good to go on. So let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to start with the review and retro of Sprint 15. Now, just a note before I make a start, I
Share
wasn't
screen.
available. Oh, I'm
Screen
not
share.
sharing screen. Thank you very much. Definitely one of those days. There we go. Can you see my screen? Awesome. All right. So just a note that I was missing in action for most of this sprint. So I had to catch up with the guys just sort of to figure out what we've done so far. They've also keeping me updated on Teams, but I was on client work, which made it a little bit hard to keep track of everything. But Landon has been running it pretty well, including the previous sprints review and forecast. And thanks for that, Landon. So let's make a start. What was our sprint goal? So first of all, we wanted to finalize the move from Cloudinary to Tina Cloud. That's been done. And then also set up Hotjar for Tina so that we can get a bit more insights, which has also been done. So that was two big goals for us, really important ones that was completed. Just the basics, as well as know, we're back to a 1 week sprint. I'll pop in the video at the end here once we're done and once I've uploaded to YouTube. And I just want to add that we've got Matt that is joining us. Lovely. So, sprint review, what did we do? So, there was quite a lot of work pulled in here. Lennon, unfortunately, is off sick today. And so, I don't know exactly why so much of the work was pulled in, but you can see it's quite a big backlog and it's more than what we could do with the people that we had assigned. You can see our plan here at the bottom. We only had Isaac for 2 days and Josh for 3 days. So, but they still very productive sprint. As you can see, a lot of dance, a lot of big numbers there being closed off, especially the Cloudinary to Tina Cloud move. The two big ones for us was move Tina.io off Cloudinary into Tina Cloud, and then also setting up Hotjar for Tina.io, which was our two sprint goals. Other big one, and thanks for that, Lewis, was how to migrate WordPress to TinaCMS. That's a document and blog that we're currently working on. It's in review at the moment, but there are some more changes that needs to be done. So we're going to try and grab Lewis for the next sprint for at least a day to finish that off. But that's definitely something that we want to get out there because that would be really good for us. The rest of it, there's a lot of marketing in there. Landon did do a marketing video for October this week, so please go and check that out. If you want more information on how we're tracking with marketing for Tina.io. Uh, as far as the uh, planning went, so we had Betty for 1 day, or planned to have Betty for 1 day, Isaac for 2, Josh for 3, and Landon for 5 days. Sort of worked out that way. We only had Josh for 3 days and Landon for 3 days. We did have Betty for 1 day, and we had Isaac for 1 day. And then Lewis had a couple of hours that he spent on working on that document. So again, less than what we planned, but as I said, we still had got a lot of work done, even with limited manpower. Um, our sprint burn down, tracking pretty consistently. Um, Still need to work on that burnout report. Apologies about that. Deployments, we had so many deployments that Josh had to send it to me in 2 screenshots. So that's going steady and well. Um, and I need to put this in here. Apologies. If that you send me that. Hmm, I missed that out. I will say put the site health in here before I send this off. Apologies for that, but it is looking really good.
It's there
So
in the
what
chat.
went it's in the chat. I'll pop that in a second. Thank you. Um, so sprint retro, what went well? So there's a few things, as you can see. As I mentioned before, landed's tina.io marketing video for October. Isaac working on SSW rules was really good because he picked up a few issues that we need to work on. But probably the biggest one is Cookie's test run of the initial setup gave us a good idea of the state of the docs. So Cookie went in there with no knowledge at all and tried to get Tina working by himself by only following the documentation that's currently available on our website. And that showed us a few gaps in the documents where Cookie got stuck. He tried not to ask anyone for help. He wanted to do it by himself, which is good. But at the end, that was too tricky. So we need to see where the gaps are so we can create those documents in the right way so that people can get it. So it's easy for people to get it up and running. Having Lewis on board, the moves to Cloudinary and things like that was pretty good for us. What didn't go so well, so as I mentioned before, I had limited time with tina.io again. It should pick up, or it should be a little bit better in the coming weeks. Can't make any promises. I do have client work, but I do have more work time on tina.io too. So hopefully that is better. And then Isaac didn't get to touch too much code because he was too busy with all the document work. And I think there's more coming for him soon. But we'll make sure that he gets his hands dirty at least a little bit. And what should we change? So we still have a lot of design work, even though we had Betty for an extended time. We probably need a dedicated designer for at least short term, just to get through all of this work and just to have our workflow continue. It worked pretty well when Betty was here. We created that PBI. She did the design. She moved it over to Josh, and he smashed it out and got it deployed. So that worked pretty well for us. But there are some of those PBIs that are back into block now because we don't have Betty. But I'm going to work with Yuli to see when we can get her on board again so we can get that design work done. Any questions from everyone about the review or retro? No? All good? All right, I'll move on to the forecast. So sprint we're doing now, sprint 16, it's going to be 1 week. Thank you for joining, Levi. Giving me more work to do. And we also have Matt. Yeah, thank you. Sprint goals that we're planning. So we really want to get the blog post and the guide out for the WordPress migration to TinaCMS. And then the recipe component, we want to finish that off and create a done video or a video for the website to show people how to use it. So that's the plan for the sprint. Availability for the sprint. So Landon's off sick today, so 4 days if he comes back, hopefully tomorrow. We only have Josh for 2 days, Isaac for 3 days, no Betty, and I have to talk to Julia about getting Lewis for another day or two to help finish with one of our sprint goals, which is the blog post and the guide to getting WordPress migrated to TinaCMS. So as I said, the plan, again, main part, 2 parts really in all of this is the migration, the documents for WordPress to TinaCMS and the recipe component. The rest are mainly some fixes, small little enhancements, nothing too major, but definitely necessary. And yeah, the done video for the recipe components probably the main one that we want to see and get out there. That's pretty straightforward. Any questions from anyone? You're on mute, Matt.
Yep, on mute. The guides, so example, like migrating WordPress to TinaCMS, do those just in the docs, is that correct?
There's a guides heading in the table of contents, like a major heading that says guides, and stuff like that would go under there, I guess.
Okay, and do they get their own SEO descriptions? Like, can we customize the SEO descriptions on those guides?
I think it's the same currently. Each specific page, you can set a specific SEO description for.
Okay, cool.
As long as what you're asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question. Yeah, that's really important for us. Awesome. All right.
All right.
Levi, anything from you? No?
Good.
Okay, all good. All right, so that was nice and quick. Once I've done this video, I'll pop it up to our YouTube channel, so you can catch up on it there if you missed this. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you for the next Sprint Review Retro podcast. Thank you. Bye. Stopped. Oh my God. All right. Let's screenshot in. Thank you all for joining. Sorry if I'm a bit slow today. Way too much.
Matt, I've just had a look, and so for the most of the site pages, you can set the SEO, but we don't have that set up for the docs yet.
Okay.
Do we want to add that as a PBI somewhere?
Yeah, I dare say that something like that. We want to make sure it's front and center when people search for WordPress that shows up.
Yep. Okay, I can create a PBI for that one.
Yeah, pop it in the backlog and maybe pull it into the sprint, because I think that's a bit higher priority, especially because it's part of our sprint goal and the recipe component.
I expect
no
that'll
worries.
help your sim auto health as well.
Yeah.
SEMrush health.
All right.
Awesome. All right, that all? Cool.
Right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.
See ya.
I'll send this out soon. See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.